You don't work at Shinjuku Station, you serve it. Shinjuku is not a building. It is a living, breathing organism of concrete and steel that swallows 3.5 million souls every single day. By the time your shift starts at 11 p.m., the organism is exhausted. It smells of stale beer, expensive perfume, and the frantic, sweaty desperation of people trying to catch the last train to Chiba or Hachioji. You are a ghost in a gray jumpsuit. You carry a mop like a staff and a trash picker like a surgical tool. Back home, you had a name and a reputation, perhaps a family that thought you were doing big things in the capital. But here, you are a biological extension of the maintenance department. To the thousands of commuters rushing past you, you are as invisible as the air conditioning vents. They don't see the person. They only see the obstacle in the striped uniform. You've learned that in Tokyo, the more essential your job is, the less likely anyone is to look you in the eye. At midnight, the gates groan shut. For a few brief hours, the busiest station in the world is yours. The silence is heavy, broken only by the rhythmic slap, slap, slap of your mop against the polished linoleum. This is the graveyard shift in the truest sense. You aren't just cleaning floors, you are scrubbing away the evidence of 1 million lives lived at high velocity. You find the remnants, a single high-heeled shoe abandoned near a locker, a crumpled wedding invitation dropped near a vending machine, a business card for a CEO, ground into the dirt by 1,000 heels. You collect these fragments of stories you'll never know. Your favorite spot is platform 4. At 2:06 a.m., the wind whistles through the tunnels in a frequency only you and the station cats can hear. You scrub the yellow tactile paving, the braille blocks, with a toothbrush-sized brush. You do it with a precision that borders on obsession. Sato-san, your supervisor, told you on your first day, the station is a mirror. If it is dirty, the people will feel dirty. If it shines, they will feel hope. You didn't believe him then? You do now. Every night at 3:15 a.m., you find the Salaryman ghost. He sits on a silver bench near the west exit, wearing a suit that was expensive 3 years ago. He isn't homeless. He just missed his train. Or perhaps he has a home he doesn't want to go back to. He always has a canned coffee, stone cold, clutched in his hand. The first time you mopped near him, you expected him to move. He didn't. He looked at your mop and said, "It's a beautiful blue." You looked down at your bucket of soapy water. It was just industrial detergent. But under the fluorescent lights of an empty Shinjuku, it did look like a fragment of the ocean. Over the months, you became a team. You never exchanged names. He'd tell you about the daughter who doesn't call him anymore. You'd tell him about the village in the mountains, where the stars are so bright they feel like they're falling. He gave you a small, wooden, lucky charm once, a Mamori, that he said he didn't need anymore. You kept it in your jumpsuit pocket. It's the only thing that makes you feel like you aren't just part of the plumbing. You realize that at 3:00 a.m., the hierarchy of Tokyo disappears. A janitor and a fallen executive are just two men waiting for the sun to give them permission to exist again. The betrayal of the night shift is that it eventually ends. Around 5 a.m., the first shutters begin to rattle open. The cleaners are replaced by the pushers. The silence is murdered by the mechanical voice of the PA system. The first wave of commuters arrives, the early birds, and within minutes, your pristine blue water floors are covered in the gray slush of reality. You see the ghost of the west exit stand up, straighten his tie, and disappear into the crowd. He doesn't look back. He becomes a part of the 3.5 million again. You realize that your work is a sand mandala. You spend 8 hours creating perfection, only for it to be trampled in 8 seconds. One morning, Sato-san tells you the station is installing cleaning robots. Sleek, white, autonomous machines that don't need brakes and don't talk to ghosts at 3:01 a.m. He says it's innovation. He says you'll be moved to the deep tunnels, the places where the public never goes, the places where there are no benches and no conversations. You realize then that the city doesn't want a janitor with a soul. It wants a machine that doesn't remember what was scrubbed away.